Hello. It's always a surprise after that opening when it comes on. I'm like, you know what? I need to pay attention and know exactly when we're going to pop up. So, Brandy, how are you today?
I'm doing well, Chauncey. How about you?
I'm here. I know that above you people are banging and clanging and, doing all other kinds of stuff. All of y'all watching, you don't know, don't get on Brandy's bad side. She'll go up there and let you know to stop it.
No, I asked nicely, okay, and I use this opportunity today as a way, yes, as a way to really practice finding peace in the midst of not so calming environments. Right? I even did yoga in the midst of things being dropped above me all day.
Serenity
practice, yes.
Oh, look at that! Look at that! Okay, Yogi, I bow to you.
Why, thank you.
And welcome everybody to EMP Review. It is Wednesday, March 24th. And I'm your host, Chauncey, with Chef Brandy, entrepreneur, whisperer to the stars. And off cam, we always have the wonderful EMP Drea. So you know what? We need some music for that. When I say that, like that sparkling music, like when I say EMP Drea.
We're going to work on that.
So everybody, if you're here with us live, of course, in the comment section, whatever you want to do, post comments, post questions. We'll check in on them, track what EMP Drea is saying, and we'll have a good time. But before we dive into The Beat is On again this month.
You got to give me a little more enthusiasm than that. The beat is on, sir.
The beat is on.
Yes.
Now, tell us, Brandy, how do we become members of Entrepreneur Meal Plan?
All right, so Entrepreneur Meal Plan membership is really simple. You make a commitment to be a part of a community of people who are interested in feeding their mind, bodies, and businesses with plant-based food, good community, and ongoing inspiration. And all of that is available as a member for only $30.23 per quarter. What that includes, you get access to the replays of this exciting experience every week with Chauncey, myself, and off-cam EMP Drea. You also get recipes, meal plans, shopping lists, resources. You get to meet cool people just like you, and you become a pioneer of entrepreneurs, one of the entrepreneur pioneers who are not going to take working themselves into the ground as they build their legacies.
Oh. Pioneer now.
Yeah.
Let's see, that's new. That's new. You're throwing in wrinkles here. I got to keep up. I got to keep track. Wait a minute. That was a long list of wonderful things, wonderful resources that you get per quarter for, again, $30.23. Now, the beat is on, right? And by beat, B-E-E-T.
Yes.
Oh. So this is the month of beets, and we're doing a rice salad with beets this time, Brandy.
Yes,
explain yourself.
With beets. So not until I was probably in my halfway through my 20s had I even heard.
Don't give away your age.
I'm not.
I thought you were still halfway through your 20s.
Listen. I had no idea that rice salad was even a thing. Growing up, I had a potato salad. I'd had a macaroni salad. I'd even had a pasta salad, usually with those little cute bowl-shaped pastas. But I never had a rice salad. And I went to volunteer at this farm and learned about this rice salad. And I got to pick some stuff from the farm that day, and beets were one of the things that we picked. And so I've kind of been really into this rice salad. And because the first time I'd ever had it, I had it with beets. It's kind of become like my thing every time I have it.
So, I mean, this sounds interesting. There's some sweet notes in here, some earthy notes I know you're going to bring out. I'm looking forward to it. And Brandy, go ahead, get your setup done. As Brandy's doing that, we will take a break and then we'll see what's happening and we'll have a discussion afterwards. So remember, any questions, comments, put them into the chat. All right, Brandy, I'll see you on the flip side.
Sweet. are going to be Hey, so I just realized that I was doing all of this good talking and nobody could hear me. So, can you guys hear me now? Let me know. Great. Yay. Refocus. All right. So, I gave you all these tips and nobody could hear me. So, listen, initially, watching, initially, if you were watching, you saw me start off with this smaller bowl right here, and then I swapped it into this bigger bowl because what I realized was that I was not going to be able to effectively mix all of the ingredients and get the flavor evenly distributed through the dish in a small bowl. So, just a tip, make sure that you're using a larger, what do you call it? Make sure you're using a larger bowl when you're making things that you want to distribute all of that flavor through. Now, the rice that I have in here is a mix of brown rice and red rice. I purchased this already blended together, and it happened to be the rice that I had available. So you can make this rice salad with any base rice. That's forbidden rice, jasmine rice, basmati rice, um, white rice. It doesn't matter. Rice is just the base of this rice salad. So one of the things I love about this rice salad is that it's a great opportunity for you to clean out your refrigerator in a fun and unique way. You never really know exactly, what you're gonna get. But when you have a lot of things in your refrigerator, throwing them into a salad really helps. So I had a little bit of corn left over, frozen corn. I literally just had a little water in it just to kind of defrost it. I'm gonna throw that in. Corn gives us a nice little sweetness, and who doesn't like corn, right? I have a leftover jalapeno, so I'm gonna put that in. That's gonna give us a little bit of heat, a little bit of crunch, and yeah. Now I'm using raw vegetables because that's what I happen to have available right now. But this recipe works well with a mixture of raw vegetables and cooked vegetables too. So that's something that I would consider. I actually like this salad. I like it with really small diced raw onions or some nice sauteed onions. So that's just an idea of how we can incorporate some fresh, some cooked, based off of what's available in our kitchen. And like I said earlier, this recipe was inspired by a trip to a farm upstate where I volunteered, and we all had a task. So the first day of the the first day of my experience, we I think I was on like cabin painting duty or something like that. And then the day two, I was in I was on the farm picking or harvesting team or something like that. And what was really cool about this experience was that everybody came together. This farm had invited a bunch of people from different countries, and it was an organization. They're actually still around. I think it's called LifeBridge. They were one of the few organizations that gave grants to individuals who were looking to improve like themselves through some type of community initiative or something like that. One of their board members had passed away and left them 90 acres of land. So what they did was take this 90 acres of land and build this self-sustaining um, like home with these two amazing kitchens. They had this great garden. They had this cabin on the land, and there's like a bunch of really cool trails. So of course I had to go and check it out. And it was my first time, like I said, being introduced to beets because that day I got to pick my beets from the garden. That was one of the rules of this place because it was all about building community, which is so appropriate for um, surviving the journey of entrepreneurship and the entrepreneur meal plan mission itself. Um, Even though everybody had a different task during the day, every night we came together and we made a meal. It didn't matter like what we had to do. There was this time period that we all came together in the kitchen. You know, we could pick what we wanted that day. We were part of the harvesting team. Some people would like to go to the store because there were some things that you couldn't get from the garden, like there were pantry items. But everybody had a role. We all came back together and we cooked this beautiful meal together. And I think rice salad is like the expression of all of these different things kind of coming together. And so, I mean, I have such a, I mean, it's it's interesting that my relationship with rice salad has such a a warm and fuzzy memory attached to it, but it really does. Hold, I'm gonna wash my mushrooms. Hold on 1 second. And I just added some broccoli into this dish. If you haven't noticed, I was cutting and talking during the time. So yeah, this salad is and it's good hot or cold. That's one thing that I liked about it too. You can eat it cold, so you can make it especially as we're starting to get back into some warm weather, at least here on the East Coast. Um, Something that you could make and take to like a barbecue or something like that. Now, what's interesting, I've never made this salad creamy. So I've never, salads like potato salad, macaroni salad, they tend to be kind of pulled together with mayo. And I've never used like a creamy thing. You guys know my creamy go to is good old tahini. But I've never done it. I kind of keep this one a little juicy. So I like to run with my good old vinegars, my balsamic vinegars, my red wine vinegars, all of those vinegars. But if you want to get creative, I would I think the creamy rice salad could be interesting. So just a little idea that I'm giving you. Now that was just some mushrooms. I tend to like cook mushrooms better, but I'm trying something different today. So I'm just gonna put them in raw. Give us a little more texture. You get different nutrients from raw mushroom versus cooked ones. Now I'm gonna add some seasoning, just a little bit. I sound like those people that say a little bit of oil, just a little bit of garlic powder, but a hefty amount of garlic powder because I'm kind of feeling like I want some garlic today. Um, Also, some good old onion powder, which has become the go-to salt replacement in addition to vinegar to kind of play in that space. I also was in a garam masala mode today, so I'm going to throw a little garam masala in here. Now, what is garam masala, Brandy? Where do we get this, and exactly what is it? Garam masala is a mix of different spices. Um, I'll read them out to you. This one is coriander, red chili, dried mangoes, curry leaves, cinnamon, bay leaves, cumin, salt, fennel, clove, black pepper, and star anise. So it's a very, it smells incredible. It is great in a soup, especially a soup, but really, really yummy in this rice salad or any kind of salad, or definitely soup though. That's probably my favorite place to kind of throw a star anise into, where you get like this burst of complexity of flavors. There's spices there, but it's not spicy. But it has like a nice like it's a nice manageable heat. I don't know how else to explain it, but it's something that I really dig. Um, what else am I gonna throw in here? I'm gonna also add some mint leaves. I have some mint leaves left, so I'm gonna add some mint leaves to this salad. I feel like mint is not used enough in food, and it adds such um a fun flavor, brightness, a little bit of sweetness as well. Mint is also a natural upper. It's a mood booster, energy wise and just mood wise. So kind of nice to throw it in, and it smells. It just I don't know, it smells super fresh to me. So throwing in a little bit of mint. Anytime I have an opportunity to use mint outside of tea, I do. Now this salad, I've made this salad cilantro. I've made it with parsley. I've made it with basil. So it is very user friendly. So to say, what else am I gonna put into this yummy salad? A tomato. I'm gonna round this off with a tomato. Give us a little bit of red because we don't have red. And the cool thing about this tomato is that I'm gonna keep the seeds in it because the seeds are gonna give us a little bit of move this over. The seeds are gonna give us a little bit more moisture and like a dressing in a way. So one thing that I do especially um like as a person who doesn't do oil based dressings, the seeds of tomatoes make a really good dressing. Tomato seeds, garlic, and balsamic vinegar is one of my favorites. So just a tip if you're trying to figure out how do I dress a salad without freaking oil, tomato seeds, garlic, and balsamic. It's a good little alternative. It's very tasty. And if you happen to have some basil, it's nice with basil too, which makes sense. It tastes like Italy in your mouth. All right. So a couple more of these. Just cutting this out now. The beauty, like I say, the beauty of this is that literally, what did we do? We used the leftover ingredients in the pantry to make something that is very hearty, very tasty, and for me, it has a memory attached to it. Like so much food that we have, I think that's one of the more challenging things, especially when you're considering a plant-based lifestyle switch, is just kind of evolving past or recreating. I don't, recreating memories because food has this memory connection to it. So look at this, like this beautiful, just simple collection of vegetables and rice and spices. And like I said, I wish you guys could smell this because it smells amazing. And I'm going to use some raspberry balsamic, white balsamic. So you guys know I love my white balsamic, and now I'm playing around with white balsamic infusions. I got a pear one that I've been playing with. This raspberry one is nice. It has a nice little raspberry note and a sweetness too. What do you call that? Rice salad, not rice salad. White balsamic is already sweet, but then like the raspberry adds like a different dimension. So vinegar is a great way to add flavor without adding salt. And so that's what we're doing today. Like I say, I'm really on this white wine blood. I'm gonna actually throw in some what is this? Red wine as well, just to give us a little bit more dressing. And there we have it. Oh my goodness, you guys must think I'm absolutely insane. And you know why you must think I'm absolutely insane? Because this is called rice salad with beets. With beets. And guess what the final player of this dish is going to be? It's going to be a beet from my favorite prepared beets that I've been using this whole series. Next week, we will actually get into the process of roasting a beet whole. So, you know, give you some options in this space. I'm going to throw the beets in to add another layer of color, another layer of sweetness, another level of flavor, earthiness. Um, and yeah, the color, like it's this deep purple, is just so freaking pretty. So pretty. And I'll tell you, I don't know, how many people have actually started to incorporate some of these beet recipes into their life, but my relationship with beets is definitely strengthened through this beet is on journey. Like I literally probably only ate beets in beet salad and probably in the form of a beet sandwich, which we will get to next week. But prepping for this, I had to come up with some different ways to play around with beets. So that's been a really fun experience, and I'm enjoying adding them to my diet. Um, and I'm also really interested to see how they affect my blood work if they do at all, because there's a lot of health benefits to beets. So anyway, just this idea of playing in the kitchen, pivoting in life is so helpful in so many places. So I'm going to drop in this good old beet. I'm gonna probably hold these. This one was a little bigger than our normal ones, and save this for another day. Stir this in and see what we're dealing with. We got enough of you in there. Now I think we could actually have some more. So we are gonna bring back out the rest of the beets. Oh, and that this just made it look like the fall. I feel like the tomatoes, that brightness of the tomatoes kind of gives us a very summery kind of feel, and then this deep purple really kind of has this harvest feeling to it. So another way to play around with this salad, level of beets versus level of tomatoes, depending on the season that you are going to be incorporating them into your life. So there we have it, guys. The good old rice salad with beets. And like I say, I can't say this enough. I wish you guys could smell the yumminess that is in front of me right now. All right, so that concludes the demo. I will meet you guys back for questions shortly.
All right.
Hey.
So, yeah, that looked so good. Before we talk about that, questions, remember everybody, if you're here with us live, type them in and we'll handle that as well. First question for you, Brandy. What's the difference between brown and red rice?
The color, where it's sourced from, and the nutrient makeup.
So when you say where it's sourced from, what do you like? Where is brown rice sourced from? Where's red rice sourced from?
So I can't remember exactly where brown rice is sourced from, but I know that red rice is sourced from Asia. So that's one thing that I know for sure. But I'll look into this because I forgot. I used to know the answer to this question, but I can't remember where all of the rice is sourced. All of the rice is sourced from. Yeah.
So as we would predict, different colors, different nutrient makeups, but all of them are fine. Don't get me started on the nutrient
I
makeup, Brandy.
know,
Okay,
rice. I know.
don't do it to me. Now, next question before we go down that rabbit hole. When you decide to create a dish based on what's left in your refrigerator, your pantry, what are some things you shouldn't do?
Don't use food that's too old. That's just not a good practice in general.
You mean the molded stuff I can't use? How dare you?
Yeah,
I don't like things to be wasted.
Don't just.
Can I just cut off the mold?
No, you know what's funny? I'm not against that idea. If it's like a what do you call that? Like a pepper. Say for instance, it's like a pepper, right? And it's like a spot on the pepper that's like soft or something. It doesn't make any sense to throw the whole pepper out. Like get rid of that soft part and use the part that's still good. Right now, if that's kind of gone into the inside and the inside is slimy and the seeds started to turn black, then you got to throw the whole pepper away. But I want to really know, because you have like, there's a big debate around food waste, especially like this search for perfectionistic food. It's like if things aren't perfectly round, overly shiny, people are just throwing stuff out. But we don't need to always throw the baby out with the bathwater, as they say. Sometimes we can just cut off a limb and keep it moving. But
well, yeah, but there's a difference between stale and like bruised. Like there is a difference.
No,
we're not going to go down what you just said with that analogy. We're going to pretend like we didn't hear it. Oh my goodness. Now,
so
some other questions. Yeah.
Right. Your question was, how do you know what? So obviously not the bad stuff, but literally think about what the dish was and how you can combine them together. So, I'm big on trying to hit all of the things on the palate. So if there's something that you want that's like sweet, that's earthy, that's crunchy, that is soft. So like think about the textures, the flavors, and then put them together. And it also,
so you don't want to be repetitive, for instance.
Yeah, I don't. Like I don't like to eat the same. Personally, I don't like to eat the same thing over and over again. And our mouths get bored if, say for instance, you did like, I know you had some leftover corn, some leftover carrots, some leftover caramelized onions, some leftover, I don't know, roasted beets. All of those things are sweet. So it's not that you couldn't pair them together, but if you were going to pair them together, I would probably put them with something like a spinach or like a kale, something that's a little bitter to kind of like balance that out. So that's the thought process when you're using leftovers is the same as building any dish. Think about it that way.
Yeah. So vary is the lesson. Yes. Excellent. Okay. Question from EMP. Drea. Can you use quinoa couscous instead of rice?
Of course, you can use quinoa or couscous.
So could you use both? What about quinoa and couscous?
You could. I think the couscous would really get lost in the salad, though, unless you did an Israeli couscous, which is a little larger. But you could totally use them both. But the what do you call it? The quinoa was going to overpower the couscous.
Mm-hmm. And back to the rice question, why did you choose red and brown? Was it for texture, flavor?
A mix of the two. And it was the rice that I had the least amount available in the pack, and I wanted to use it up. I mean, that's sometimes my motivation for making a dish as well. It's like, oh yeah, I gotta let me get to another pack of something. Let's use this up.
Yeah. And if you want it chewier, if you had wild rice, you could put that in there. Yeah. Things like that work. Yeah. So here's another question. When should you keep mushrooms raw and when should you cook them? Because you chose raw mushrooms this time. What was the thinking?
It's a preference for me. It was just, I was interested in just like kind of having them raw. I'm all about the cooked mushroom. I am obsessed with how they end up turning out.
With some vinegar?
Yes. Or some lemon juice. Like it is just like the best. I love mushrooms and I always cook them. But I was reading something in preparation for some like like some spring cleansing article or something that I was just reading, and somebody was talking about. I knew this would get Chauncey worked up. I'm really excited. Talking about the benefits, the detoxing benefits of raw mushrooms, and so I was like, huh. Let me see.
So when you cook them, they no longer detox. It's only when they're raw.
Totally detox when they're cooked. Okay, this particular article just talked about the extra detoxing benefits. So that for me was kind of
the extra. Oh, okay. Because we need the extra detox, right?
It's the spring. You got to clean it all out. Okay.
Right.
So yeah, that was kind of like, oh yeah, I hadn't had them raw in a while, and so that made me think like, let me put them in raw this time versus cooking them. That's literally my motivation for adding them raw this time.
Yeah, and just so everyone knows. Sorry, say that again, Brandy.
I personally like the taste of cooked mushrooms better.
Yeah, and just so everyone knows, if anyone says, "Hey, this is how you detox your body," stop listening. Now, just stop listening. It's nonsense. Now, another question, Brandy. Here we go.
Chauncey.
Would you add avocado to this dish? No, EMP Drea, but go ahead, Brandy.
So you could add avocado to this dish, but what I'm thinking would be a really nice way to use avocado in this dish is as a dressing. So what I would probably do if I had avocados, I would take avocado, probably some of the vinegar. If you're into cilantro, some cilantro, maybe a little bit of lime and some jalapeno, blend it up and then make it into a sauce and just bring it all the way through. So that would probably be how I would use avocado in this. And that addresses the creamy rice salad that I was considering. That could be a way to do that too.
I like that. Maybe a little bit of pepper in there.
I like that.
I like it. Now, this is what EMP Drea said to my comment.
You two in this avocado battle. We got to get a Drea versus Chauncey avocado EMP review going.
But I do like the idea of using it in a dressing. I think that is very smart, but that's why you're here. Now, same question for beets, because this time you didn't cook them. We have had cooked beets before. Is there a reason why it's raw this time versus cooked?
So these beets are pre-cooked. So these particular beets were cooked. They were cooked beforehand. But you could use a raw beet. My challenge with raw beets, honestly, I think they're too hard to cut. Like there's literally no other reason as far as I'm concerned, except for they're too hard to cut. So I just think roasting them makes it easier to work with them.
Right. And probably, Brandy, correct me if I'm wrong. If something's too hard to cut, you probably don't want to eat it anyway.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah. Unless you cut into it and then it is cut to a bowl.
Right.
Like a cantaloupe. You don't eat the rind, you cut into it,
Yeah.
So, that's nature helping us. So another thing from EMP Drea, I'm loving these comments. Roasted beets, a great layer of flavor also, right? Roasting it.
Yes, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
And it also probably, that's your preference, yeah. But would it be a time issue too? Maybe if you don't have the time, you're just slapping this together. The kids are running around. You got a deadline coming up. You just cut them up and put them in there.
You can. It's really kind of hard to chew. Beets are I feel like beets are hard to chew raw too.
Not raw. I mean, out of that package, which was cooked instead of roasting.
Right. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah. If it's hard to chew, don't eat it.
Yeah, it's too much work.
Now, okay, here's another question. To create a dish, Brandy, can the color of the foods guide you?
Yes, for sure. The colors.
So like what you were saying with the different textures and flavor profiles, color as well could be added to that list?
Definitely. And I'm just trying to think through foods and color to see the correlation of like their flavor profile, like in real time. And there are some that kind of sync up, like in that same kind of color space. Some are different though. Like spinach and broccoli both are green, but I don't think they are in the same thing. But corn is sweet, like yellow peppers are sweet. Carrots are sweet, like orange peppers are sweet. Also butternut squash. So that could be an interesting exercise. I mean, the whole eat the rainbow thing is a really good just thought process when composing a dish, to be able to get like multiple, like all of your phytonutrients from like different places, but also to kind of build different layers of flavor. So yeah, I like that idea, Chauncey.
Okay, I love it. So those are the questions. So Brandy, we can wrap it up now. And of course, we'll end with a little picture of that wonderful bowl with the rice salad and beets. I love it. But before we sign off, Brandy, say that again. I missed you.
I still wish you guys could smell it. I can still smell it here. It smells so good. I'm so sorry that you guys can't smell it.
I don't, you think that saying this is helping us, but it's not. I mean, you're calling attention to things that you get to experience that we can't. This isn't smell-o-vision.
Oh, I know. Maybe we should start sending around scratch and sniff.
Okay. So, Brandy, wrap it up for us, and then we'll talk about when we meet next time. So, EMP review, what's the deal again?
Yeah, so EMP review, guys, thanks so much for joining us for EMP review. Every Wednesday, we come to help entrepreneurs find ways to feed their mind, body, and business with plants. EMP review is one of the features of Entrepreneur Meal Plan, which is a membership for entrepreneurs looking for ways to run their businesses better by not running themselves in the ground. The membership that we offer for the low cost of $30.23 a quarter comes with recipes, meal plans, shopping lists, access to these events, other different events, business resources, and a community of other people who have committed themselves to running their business in a way that they can take care of themselves in the process.
Beautiful. So we will be back next Wednesday at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time, the final day in the month of Beets. So we'll see what's coming up there and have a big beet celebration. So in the meantime, everybody, as always, we sign off by saying, please do life and business well. Thanks, Brandy. See you next time, my friend.
Thanks, until later.
Bye.